What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a very special episode of Go Talk. I got my boy Mike joining me for this episode, and in the middle we got our very special guest, Adam Showtime Willett, former professional boxer, former Golden Gloves winner, former U.S. champ. Before we get into everything, Adam, I just want to say thank you for taking your time out of your day and joining us.
Appreciate it. You already know I'm about to put on a show, Showtime.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Live up to the name. Live up to the name, baby.
Yeah. Let's start from the beginning. When did you start boxing and why?
All right, so basically I was fresh out of high school. I played football for Bellport. I also ran track. I was like a super athlete. So after high school, it was like, I ain't have nowhere else to go. I'm like, damn, I'm home, I'm working. I'm at work still trying to be an athlete, jumping off the stuff. Yo, I bet you I can get there before you do faster.
When were you working?
I couldn't even tell you at the time. I think I was doing like working like roadside assistance, like picking up garbage and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Whatever, it is a job, so.
Whatever pays the bills.
No doubt. So, you know what I mean? But so what happened was I had my grandfather, he was going out with my grandmother, his name was Earthman. He was like a showman back in the day. Okay. Like he would do wild stuff before he got to the ring. It was crazy. Like this dude was like ahead of his time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he picks me up, he's like, yo man, come with me to cut some grass. So we cut the grass, and then he was like, yo man, I want you to come to the boxing gym. I just gotta go down there for maybe an hour or two. I'm like, all right. So I go down there, I start touching his bag, and I end up meeting a guy named Mike Murphy. So he's like, dude, how much you weigh? I'm like, I don't know, like 78. Like, all right. So then he was like, you have a box? I was like, yeah, I used to box down here when I was a kid. I used to get my ass kicked though, but I did it. You know. So once he took over, that's all she wrote. Golden Gloves came. I was all over the place. Golden Gloves came. After that, I had like maybe a 2-year hiatus where I wasn't really winning. I would win here, lose there, win here, 2 losses there, and then I just became, my mindset changed. I made boxing like an everyday routine. If I wasn't thinking about it, if I wasn't doing it, there was no need for me to be doing anything else except that.
So what changed? What changed that mindset?
I was on TV, I was watching TV, and the guy that actually won the Nationals, I was just looking at him like, yo, I can beat him. I know I could beat him. Right after I got done watching him win, I said I'm going to 201 because I was fighting at 78. I ran 4 miles. After the 4 miles, I ran right to the gym because I was so focused on beating him because I knew I was faster than him.
Yeah. Do you remember who it was?
Man, I can show you a picture of him down at the wall. Yo, you gotta remember, I'm 41. My memory's shot.
So when that mindset happened, you think that's when you realized, all right, this is gonna be my career. Like boxing is it? Like this is what I was for?
Yes, because I'm one of them type of people. I'm full steam on whatever I do. Okay. If I'm doing security work, I'm on it harder than everybody else. Yeah. If I'm running up a mountain, I'm on it harder than everybody else. See, I'm an Aries and I'm starting to learn about my side, and they say Aries are very much about competition and being that person that's in front for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I am my sign. You know what I mean?
So then for boxing or just sports in general, but for your case boxing, that mindset, is that in your case, you think that's the biggest need to make it, is you gotta have that mindset, you gotta have the heart and the dedication?
There's 2 things that happens when you become a boxer. You're not a great uncle, because when a birthday's being celebrated, you might be in the gym. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not a great boyfriend, because when she wants to go to the movies, you need to be in the gym. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's a real live dedication. You can be good or you can be great. It depends how you want to take the ride.
Yeah. And then how did you deal with navigating that in your 20s? Like all your friends going out on the weekends, going to the club and stuff like that. Did you partake in that, or?
Oh no, I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I never went out. But the thing was, work has to get done first before I go and play. Yeah. You know what I mean? Absolutely. One thing I will say, I never partook in smoking, drinking. Never was a part of my type of movement. You know what I'm saying? It's just, why would I want to put something in my body that can do me harm later on down the line when my son or my daughter has grandkids that can hurt me later on? Why I can't even be around for my grandkids? Yeah, that makes no sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's never been my goal.
Why you still in the gym today?
No doubt. Yep. still ready, you know what I mean? Take the way that I move, I'm ready to fight them all, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, take me back to your very first fight, your very first amateur fight, first time fighting someone for real. Where was it, and what were you thinking before you fight?
Okay, now, how do you want to go about this? The first time I got my ass whooped, or the first time I actually started winning?
I'm talking very first fight, first amateur fight.
Crazy enough, it was against Buddy McGurk's son. And I wasn't fighting for Vest Memorial, I was fighting for Atlantic at the time. This is when I was like 13. And he beat the dog mess out of me. I mean, I'm crying out the ring, I'm like, this is embarrassing! I don't know how to do it! I don't do it! I'm in the locker room crying, ah! You don't know somebody died the way I was crying, bro. Yeah. I don't like to lose.
Yeah.
I don't like to lose. You know what I mean?
So now, after that though, and that experience, you're saying you're beat up, you're emotional. What made you want to come back and just keep going? And
Okay, so I didn't come back to the sport of boxing until after high school.
okay,
You know what I'm saying? And it was just a game changer. You know, I'm a little bit older now. I've been in a couple street fights. You know, I know how to handle myself. I took L's, I took wins. I took more wins than I did L's. Let's just make sure we clear on that. You know what I'm saying?
I got your record up here.
Definitely got
your record up top.
But you know, my first fight, it was crazy. We went to Queens. This is the first time. Now see, most people, whether it doesn't matter what sport you do, don't know how to handle left-handed people. I'm born a southpaw.
Yeah.
Born and raised a southpaw. So when I throw this thing, it's like a trigger. You just can't see it coming. Now I'm not saying I'm gonna knock you out, but you're gonna do something funny standing up. You hear me? Real talk.
So now, all right. So I know we touched up on the Gold Gloves before, but what was that experience like, and being able to win Gold Gloves?
I want to say that it was a beautiful experience, but I had a fighter named Michael Misa and Calvin, and it was the last year of the Golden Gloves, and I was very happy that I got the experience. I don't even want to talk about me right now. I want to talk about just the last year of that Golden Glove. It was just the most crazy experience for me, and not even as a fighter, just as a coach now.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna front. I felt like the first year I won my gloves, it was incredible as a novice. And then, you know, once you do something competitively and you keep winning, it's just like, it's like no different than tying your shoes after a while. You know what I mean? Yo, you won another pair of gloves. So most people, it's like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, well, this is my second pair. So,
Yeah. Alright. So I mean, then you jump a couple years forward. Let's go 2005, National PAL Champion. What's the difference between that and the Golden Gloves? Like, so what was the difference in your emotions between winning the Golden Gloves and becoming the National PAL Champion?
Bro, let me tell you something. My first nationals, you would have looked at me like I was crazy. Don't talk to me, don't speak to me unless it's about boxing.
Yeah.
I don't want you around me. Like, I literally act like I was in jail. I just was so focused on beating that kid that I seen win on TV in the PLs, and he was there.
Oh.
So he watching me and I'm watching him, but I'm like, yo, this is gonna be cake for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be a tough ride for you. You know what I mean?
Did you face him?
Yeah.
You beat him?
Yes. I beat the dog mess out of him.
Was that for the championship?
Yes. That's when I became number one.
Wow.
Really?
Knockout?
No. I was touching him up though. I touched him like he stole something from. I was touching his pockets. Give me.
So now also winning that 2005, you represented USA in the World Champion, is that correct?
Yes.
So how was that?
That was crazy.
Yeah.
It was so many people in I think it was Beijing. No, Beijing. No, China. It was in China.
Was that when you were with Crawford? I don't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah.
Terrence
Yo,
Crawford
oh
was
my
there.
God, yeah. I was the most. Okay, so going in camp, let's take it from there.
Okay.
Seeing all these guys that were ranked number one and just seeing them in the rankings for the
Yeah.
USA boxing, then actually being able to be right there with them, son. I thought I was high, and I don't even smoke. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, yo, bro, I seen you in the book. Like, they looking at me crazy. I'm like, can you sign this? They like, yo, what's up with you, bro? I'm like, I'm sorry if I'm a groupie. You know, I love boxing.
who was the coolest? Who did you befriend the most? Who was the coolest dude?
Rashid Warren and Gary Russell. Yeah, I mean, Gary Russell is a monster, bro.
And where are both those dudes from?
I think Rashid Warren is from, I'm not sure, bro, but he's a monster. He's still doing his thing. And Gary Russell's still doing his thing now.
Still fighting?
Yes.
Nice.
No, they got like WB world titles and stuff
Yeah?
like that.
Oh, wow.
These guys are legit.
Do you still talk to them?
I talked to Gary not that long ago.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I actually went to go watch him fight in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? He took his first loss. He popped out his shoulder in the middle of the fight. And I also had that happen, so I understand. And he still fought with one hand. So, you know what I mean? He did it on a pro level. I did it on an amateur level.
Yeah.
But, you know, listen, watching the sparring was just like watching laser tag. It was just like, you didn't want to miss anything because someone was going to get rocked or someone's going to get the mess beat out of them.
Yeah.
So every sparring event, it was like going to like a world title. Because this is the thing, on that type of elite level, word gets around quick. People are calling home, yeah, I just got done whooping up such and such, you know, we supposed to be number 2, yeah, right. So it was a great experience, bro. You know what I mean?
Staying a little bit longer on the USA, representing USA in the World Champions, how did you perform, and like, what was the difference between performing over there versus over here?
You have guys that are 35 that have talent because they've been doing it since they were 8. So it's like, you fighting people on a real different level. Like, you make the wrong move towards them and they know how to react without even reacting, but still reacting. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does to me. It's just like, you come at them a certain way and it's a blur. You know what I mean? It's like, people don't give enough credit to people across seas that actually fight. But like, say for like Cuba, do you know how much it takes to be number 1 and how good you have to be? And even if they get rid of the number 1, the number 2 and the number 3 is just as good as number 1. You just can't beat the number 1.
Yeah.
It's just on a different level.
So you think, like, let's say, like you said, Cuba for an example, you think that's the toughest, like overseas is the toughest to become pro or become number 1?
Yes. As far as number 1, as far as amateurs go, yeah, because there's so much talent, bro. I mean, certain, like this sport in particular, certain places, it's just so much talent there. You have to be really better than the rest to show. You got to show out. You know what I mean? Cuba, Russia, all these wonderful places that I've been. I've seen a lot of talent. I've seen little kids that put on a show for you just sparring.
So now talking about like USA, you're representing USA in the world. You won Gold Gloves. You got the National PL champion. Jumping a year ahead, 2006, you become U.S. champion. So now, just for all these fights combined, what was your like normal fight preparation? What's going through your head before all these fights?
Nervousness.
Yeah.
Nervousness. That's always my thing. Like, but you have to learn how to control it. You know what I'm saying? Just like you would a fire.
Mm-hmm.
You can heat up things with a fire, but the moment you let it get out of control, you can burn the forest down. So you have to learn how to control it. You know what I mean?
How'd you do that?
Music.
Really?
Big into Tupac.
Okay.
Big into Tupac. I'm big into, I would say revolutionist rappers. You know what I'm saying? Conscious rappers. You know what I mean?
So that's what you listened to before?
Yes.
All fights?
Yes. My biggest song was I'm a Hellraiser. I love that song. And Toss It Up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Pac, because he knew how to toss it up. Ow.
So, Ad, what allowed you to qualify for the Golden Gloves, the National PL champion? Like, is it record? Is it who you beat? Is it your coach has to put your name in? Like,
No,
what qualifies you for that?
The gloves you don't have to qualify for, but for the nationals you do have to qualify for. Or if you don't qualify for it, you still can go to the tournament, but you just have to pay out of your own pocket.
Okay.
So once you become ranked, they fly you out. You're on a team. You're on a qualifying team, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And basically they pay for everything. You're at the USA Olympic Center laid up or whatever they need, wherever they want you to be or wherever they put you.
Yeah, they got you in a hotel.
Yeah. But you don't have to pay for anything once you become number 1. You're good. You know what I'm saying? So
Everything's paid for?
yes, everything.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll tell you a lot of good times that I had out there. Shout out to all the shorties. I don't know if you remember me. Chocolate Sensation, you know what I mean?
So 2006, you become U.S. champion. How did you conquer that?
I'll be honest with you, after a while, it was just something. When it was time for a national tournament, it's game time. So there's no like, yo, I got to get this in my mind and No, it's game time. Like, I already know what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? I was very serious when I went to these tournaments. You know, there's no playing, there's winning, going back to the hotel, take a shower, sleep. You know, if I got to buy, I'm running or I'm hitting a bag, I'm staying focused to the task at hand. You know what I mean?
Were you able to sleep well the night before a fight? Because I've heard some fighters say, like, I can't sleep.
Sometimes. It depends. Sometimes yes, and then sometimes no. But after a while, it became like a second nature because, you know, the number 3, number 4 would stay in the number 3, number 4. But if I beat them 3 or 4 times, I'm not really worried about nothing. They worried about me. You know what I mean? Unless they figure something in my game plan, which that's pretty hard to do as a southpaw. That's my opinion. You know what I mean?
Did you notice the difference in your fighting versus those nights that you're able to sleep and fights that you're not?
Nah, because I'm going to show up and show out at all times.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And we're talking about back then. You know what I mean? Back then, you know, I'm younger. I'm a lot more energized. I'm focused. That's
This is all early 2000s right here. We got you.
in life, to succeed at anything, whether it's shooting a ball, having a podcast, whatever you want to do in life, the key thing is being very focused. Once you lose that focus and, you know, friends, women, drugs, you're out the window.
Yeah.
I've always been a focused person.
How many fighters have you seen that were maybe even more skilled than you, but they fell victim to that?
Bro, especially in the gym of Mastic, I'll be honest with you. He's a friend of mine. His name was Earl Edwards. I still talk to him to this day. I was so amazed on how he would go in there and run combinations on people being 119. He was like a blur, bro. And he was my best friend, so I ain't gonna put his business out there. But if he didn't have the other distractions going on, he probably would have been somewhere far.
Really?
Yeah, he was that good. I felt like he was way more talented than I was. Out of anybody that I trained with or met, this guy, his first national tournament, they took him as a punishment. They put him in the tournament, right? He actually ends up almost beating the guy that was ranked number 1. He missed it by a half of a point.
And he wasn't right.
He wasn't even training. He just goes to the national tournament. They're like, yo, we're going to put him in it, show him a lesson.
Yeah.
He started beating guys. But the one thing that people didn't know about Earl is he had his grandfather on his one side box and his grandfather on the other side box. So it was just it's in his DNA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And some things are really in your DNA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So
Let's all right, so jump one more year, 2007. A big name still in the game now. You're supposed to fight Deontay Wilder. What happens with that?
I already had enough points. Well, first of all, that year I popped out my shoulder in the Golden Glove Finals.
Okay.
And I already had enough points. Well, I didn't have to win the USAs. He had to win them. You know what I'm saying? Which he did.
Yeah.
So basically, I fought one guy, and then after that, I just basically told doctor something happened to my shoulder, and he allowed me to sit out. You know what I mean? For that tournament. Because like I said, all the number 1s didn't have to fight anymore. We was just there just to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So Wilder was still climbing.
Yeah.
So he was up and coming.
Yeah. At the time, yes. He was very up and coming. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then were you both team members in 2007 at the Pan Am Games?
He was the number 1. I was the number 2.
Okay. Wow.
Because he won the Olympic box off, I think. Yeah, he did. And he was still new to the sport. So they was like teaching him as he was going along. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I could say about him, he hits extremely hard.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you. All them knockouts are real. He hit me with a right hand one day, and I was like, oh my God, what hit me? So all them people he knocked out, I know your frustration and your pain, and I'll never want to go through that. You know?
So being the number 1 and number 2, I'm assuming you guys trained a lot together.
Yeah, we did.
You guys built like a friendship and all that?
Nah, not really.
No,
you know what I'm saying? It was like, because the guys that were on the team, I knew for years. He was new to the team. You know what I'm saying? But he was a cool dude. I don't take nothing away from him. He was very cool, very respectful. You know, we never ran. Because, you know, you got to understand something. When you're on that team, it's a lot of egos.
Yeah.
And things.
Yeah.
All
like,
number 1 and
I
number
could
2,
tell
I'm
you
sure.
stories that I'm going to stay out of, but I didn't see fists being thrown, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of a conversation. You know what I mean? It's like you dealing with guys that, you know, if you're not seeing things their way, they might take off on you. And we all come from different places.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so everybody's attitude's a little bit different. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, there was a couple times coaches had to jump in between because things were about to get crazy. You know, I never had those issues, though. I was always cool, you know what I mean? It was kind of like the lighter guys.
Yeah. So now, from what you remember about your career and everything, what would you say your favorite fight was?
I would have to say me and Curtis Stevens.
When was this?
Oh, man, I think this was, I couldn't tell you, bro. Damn, why you asking me questions? You know, I'm old, man. Come on. I'm old. Nah, but Curtis Stevens is the one that actually gave me my name. He beat me in the Empire Games.
Okay.
And he didn't even beat me. The crowd beat me. So basically, I'm not going to lie. That's the first time I ever quit in my life. But I promised myself after that I would never quit again. I would never, and I preach that to my kids. I preach that to the guys I train. You don't quit because you'll never look at yourself the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Was it heckling from the crowd? What?
Yeah.
Elaborate. Yeah, it was.
I'm going back and forth with the crowd, and I'm actually winning. I won the first round.
Really?
Yeah.
And how many rounds was this fight? Do you remember?
Back then it was 4 rounds, 2 minutes.
4 rounds, 2
Yeah,
minutes?
now they switched it up. They made it where it's 3 rounds. No, 3 rounds, 3 minutes. 1 minute rest. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was like, and I just got done winning the novice gloves, and then I fought him in the Empire Games. But I did tell him after he beat me, I said, bro, you going to see me again? And he's like, yeah, all right, whatever. I'm like, all right. So then we fought in New York. Now, I'm definitely going to send that fight to you because that
Link it, link
I'm on
it.
my feet like Ali.
I'll put the link in the description.
I'm going to tell you something. In that fight, I remember it, but it was kind of like I blacked out. Like I just became a different person. Like the soul of Ali just touched me. Because if you watch that fight, I am moving just like him.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So,
So
yeah.
you think that when you lost him, you think that was more impactful on you? Than
I don't like
when
to
you won?
lose. I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
stressing that.
Yeah.
I don't like to lose at nothing. I lose and I'm not a sore loser, but I'm mad at myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even with my fighters, like I'm very competitive. Very, 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 very. I'm a very competitive person. So like, I'll work out my fighters and I'll talk shit to them, and it's not because I don't like them. It's out of love. I want you to succeed. You know what I mean? That's just how I've been my whole entire life.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, my daughter's the same way. She lose that track. She's, ugly face come on and crying.
Are your kids into boxing?
My daughter boxes. I'm starting to get my son into it, but I really want to touch him up on wrestling. That's my biggest thing.
Probably
yeah.
it's
You know what I mean?
probably the way to go.
I'll be honest with you. If you're gonna do this, you gotta love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wanted my daughter just to do it, to know how to defend herself, and actually, you know, to keep up with, just to stay working out. She's really a sprinter. That's her thing. You know what I mean?
So you said that was your favorite fight. As long as like fight memory, would that be the same fight or
Yeah.
that same fight?
There's judges that actually you watch on TV. Whenever they see me, that's the fight they're reminded of.
Really?
That was the biggest fight in Golden Glove history.
Really?
Yeah, because he was never beat. Curtis Stevens was like a mini Mike Tyson. He was from Brooklyn and he fought just like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
He was known for knocking people out. Even in the pros, he's known for putting people to sleep.
Yeah.
He's got highlights for putting people to sleep. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So
What was your feeling like when you beat him?
I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
What's preparation like when you know you're gonna fight a knockout artist? Is it different?
Yeah. The whole thing is when you fight someone that can punch, right? If you're standing still and they can sink their feet in the ground, they're more likely to put everything into a punch. But if you stay moving and grooving, you know you're going to keep them losing. Because power
I like that.
comes from someone being flat-footed. You know what I mean? Where they can turn on their punches. But if you can't turn, I'm just going to keep turning you. And as I'm turning you, I'm turning you into that jab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My bad, I didn't mean to take it.
Nah, that's crazy.
So he's like, damn, the way he's playing that shit with the piece of paper was just like, he turned it up with the paper. Do you really turn like that in fights? See the way he twisted it, guys? His eyes were so focused on the paper.
Yeah, so was I.
I'm picturing the piece of paper as someone's feet as they're moving. So I'm locked in on this, picturing feet. Like,
I seen it. Yeah. He spazzed out on the paper, y'all. Yo. Oh, man.
So Adam,
What's up? That bitch was coked out on the paper. Ah! You don't play. Yo, if you run that back on the camera, look at his face.
Now I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
What's up, Playboy?
So you got Long Island, New York City. Who's got the better fighters?
I would say in my era, I definitely gave it to New York. Listen, my best sparring and my best work as far as getting good in preparations for a fight was going out to the city.
Any specific gym out there?
Everywhere.
Everywhere? Doesn't matter?
Everywhere there's a killer. You got to understand, you dealing with people, they ain't doing this for fun. They not doing this for aerobics. They doing this to one day feed their families and
To get out.
You know, to get out of the poverty. Like that's really real. You hear fighters talk about it, but people don't understand how real it is. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you got lines in certain places, and there's a lot of lines there. I can't say, I don't know about now because I haven't been out there in a long time. But what I will say is, people have capitalized on boxing that don't box, and that offends me for someone that did it so long. You know what I mean? I could tell you a girl that used to kickbox, all of a sudden she became a boxing coach. She lost at kickboxing, her one fight, and now all of a sudden she's a boxing coach. Well, you know what?
And she's profiting off that, so that's the part that you say is
and
annoying.
that offends me.
Yeah, of course, it should.
I don't like people that never put on a pair of gloves, but want to teach someone how to do what they never done. That makes no sense to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's all right, so let's go a couple years in advance. 2010.
Okay.
There was an incident that happened here in Bellport
Yes.
that affected your career. Let's talk about that.
I'm gonna tell you like this. God sends warning before he sends destruction. And sometimes you have to be aware of your surroundings, and you can't put your mind in a place where it's just down and out, because only negativity is gonna follow that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm gonna leave it like that. You know what I mean?
You remember that day like it was yesterday? You always.
I have a
you
blur.
think about
I'm
that?
straight. I don't even think about it.
Really?
You know, because what it did, it just got me focused again. Like waking out of that hospital bed and like I'm kicking. I can't even talk. They got a tube.
Yeah.
And my whole thing was, the doctor came in. I'm gonna be able to box. Yes, but it's gonna be some time. Good. Get out. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
Yeah. How long was that recovery?
I would say, 4 months, maybe 5 the most. I remember running.
No training, nothing.
Nah, I was trying to do as little as I couldn't even do one push-up. I was so hurt and down.
Yeah.
You know, you talking about a person. The only thing that slowed up that bullet is, the doctor said, is great shape I was in.
Really?
Yeah, because I was in crazy shape at that time. 200, solid as a rock.
Really?
I mean, ripped. Like, you know what I mean? Not what you see now. You know what I mean? This is
Still got it, though.
This is
Still got it.
This is fat diesel nigga. This is a mixture of both.
So now I read an article. I watched an interview that you did also talking about that incident. And now correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there was something happening with a couple students and you went to protect them. And that's when the guy came back and just happened to have a gun.
Like I said, you know, I don't really get into that. You know, at the end of the day, you got to take the bad with the good. And, you know, the way I look at things is, there's people out there that go through way more worse than I've been through. You know, little girls that were raped when they were 5, but still able to be overachievers. So what's one bullet? That shouldn't stop my flow. You know what I mean? There's been people that went through hell and back and still walking tall and still successful people. So for me to look at that, it's a weakness.
Yeah.
Damn, I've been shot. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. No, I'm not going to let that stop me.
It's a strong mindset.
You know what I mean?
It's a very strong mindset.
You know, I just think all the people that came before me, Marcus Garvey, Huey P. Newton, these are people that went through hell and back. You know what I mean? And made life and situations better for me. So if they can do it, I definitely can do it.
So now after the shooting and everything, what was it like getting back in the ring?
Let me tell you what happened after the shooting. I'm going to be honest with you. Shout out to all the shorties that came and see me in the hospital.
I knew.
Listen.
I knew he was gonna plug that in.
My dad couldn't believe it. My dad was like, "Damn, boy!" He's like, "Damn, My daddy never looked at a girl a day and was like, she's a pretty girl. I was like, yeah, I know. There was so much stuff that came and seen me in the hospital. I swear to God, at that time, they didn't know. It'd be people just chilling with me like, yo, shorty, who's this coming back up here? Shout out to all y'all. Flavor out.
That's awesome.
How many fights before you decided like, all right, I think this is it. I'm gonna hang him up.
To be honest with you, I never really hung him up. What happened was, once you start seeing how the businesses ran, everybody's out for $1, bro. And it's like, it'd be small money. It'd be like, yeah, you owe me $60. Like, bro, it's not even that serious. You can have it.
Yeah.
So imagine trying to get into the big money. Like, what people don't know, if you're a dumb boxer and you're not on top of your business, people will take advantage of you. They will treat. Boxing is no different than pimps and. You know what I'm saying? You have to really have a real good team and a good mindset to know what's going on. Look at all these boxers that boxed for so many years. It's like you got the name and you got the fame, but you ain't got $1 to your name.
Yeah.
I ain't going out like that.
Yeah.
You know, slavery was over a long time ago, and I ain't gonna be nobody's slave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
So you started to see the politics get into it, right?
Very.
And it was enough to really just drive you out and say, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Like I said,
There's no way around it.
I never said I never wanted to do it, but the thing is once you turn pro, it's not about, you can be ranked #1. You can have a name and all that. You can have a guy, and I kid you not, this happens on an everyday basis, that all of a sudden wants to be a boxer, goes to a boxing gym. He has a following. That's the biggest thing nowadays when you become pro.
Following.
You have to have that following before it's time for you to even step to the plate.
That's the whole thing about people say about Garcia. They say it's a social media.
No, but one thing about Garcia, he was ranked #1 in the country, and he was very sharp as a boxer. I don't take that away from him. He became a social icon on social media because, you know, of his features and how quick he moves with his hands. And to be honest with you, any boxer, if you put them in front of some pads, you can move them pretty fast.
Yeah.
That only counts when you're in front of somebody that you're able to do the same thing when it's impressive to me. You know what I mean? To the guy that doesn't know boxing, oh my God, he looks amazing. Yeah, someone's in front of him moving pads. You dummy, he's supposed to look amazing. Let me show you how this is done for a couple months and you'll look amazing too. Yo, okay, I get it. Like, people are so, you know what it is? When you don't know something, everything is like, wow to you. Yeah. But when you start understanding it and knowing it, it's like, oh, it ain't really that serious. I could do the same thing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, because you're only 41. You still, technically, if you wanted to, could be fighting today.
Yeah, but you know what it is? You have to have the right people behind you. You have to have people that are going to buy those opponents. Everybody that starts out that's a somebody, give me a boxer that you watch.
Gervonta Davis.
Okay. He had Floyd Mayweather in this corner, right? So Floyd Mayweather is not going to feed him to the wolves right away. Boxing's a little bit different. He's going to feed him guys that are going to go in there and lose. You know what I'm saying? And then after his 10th fight, maybe they give him somebody a little bit more harder. And maybe after the 20th fight, now they get a little bit more harder until you're fighting for a WBC world title. It's a business. It's a very articulated business. You know what I'm saying? You just got to know how to move with it. And if you have the right person that's moving a fighter, you can take someone that has even fought in the amateurs and get them to a WBC world title. You know what I mean?
So we talked a little bit about that girl, that kickboxer before, who just became a coach, right?
Yes.
What do you think, as a real boxer yourself, right? What do you think about this social media boxing stuff now? Jake Paul, all these guys.
It hurts the guys that have been doing it for a long time. You know, they fought in the amateurs, they became #1. Now it's time for them to turn pro, and you know they got Jake Paul in front of them that's never been to a national tournament in his life. Yeah. And then the thing is, he's another one. They're building up his record. How do you build up your record with mixed martial arts guys?
You know what the funny thing is too? You know what I mean? He came out and he said, "Oh man, I love boxing. If you make $15 million from your first fight, everybody loves boxing." You know what I mean? Right. Anybody would love it.
I adore it.
Yeah, sport's the best.
With all my heart.
Like you said, they're building up his record against MMA guys.
Bro.
Look, he fought Tommy Fury, who's the best boxer he's fought.
And he got beat.
Look what happened.
And he got beat.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that they're going on for his last fight, right? They're like, oh, well, you know, he fought another boxer. Yo, that guy hasn't fought in a year.
Yeah.
And another thing is that guy is short. He is a midget compared to him. He was supposed to do that.
Do you
know what
think
I mean?
Jake's nice at all? Like, do you look at any of these
Let me
guys
tell you something.
and say, yo, he's got skill?
Anybody that trains every day, you got to give him respect. Because not everybody can do this.
Yeah.
So I give him
And
respect
getting in
on
there, yeah.
learning the sport. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I don't consider him nice until he starts fighting someone that's nice.
Yeah.
You're not nice until you beat someone that's real good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
So, you know.
I agree with that.
He walks in here today. You touch him up?
No comment. Jake Paul, I don't know you, man.
Yeah.
Would you
But
fight him?
listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm realistic with this sport. I get touched up. The reason why is because he's doing it every day.
Yeah.
I got to worry about a family, getting the job to job, you know, trying to finish out a workout and then working out my kids, you know, with the boxing. If you're doing this every day, it's only right that you be victorious and glorious and stand like a true warrior, you know what I mean? I like how the wet. This just sounded good. Coke nose, baby.
Let's talk about you and what you're doing present day.
Yeah, give me some for that.
Like, obviously now you're not fighting as much, or if you're not fighting at all. But let's talk about what you're doing now. Talk about the gym we're in, the ring we're in.
Okay, this is Ring 33. Okay, I'm a coach now here. You definitely can check out my work on Adam Showtime Willett. I'm on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook. I say it again, Adam Showtime Willett. And basically, let's set the record straight. I don't fight at all. I just stay in shape. You know, I like hitting the bag. I might get in here and spar. I'm still not trying to do this. I'm not trying to live through my fighters. I'm not even that type of dude.
Yeah.
I did what I had to do. When someone started talking about that, I'll be like, yo, look at that wall. That's all you gotta do is look at that wall. I don't need to live through nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so yeah, that's what I do.
So how many fighters you got right now that you're training and coaching?
Most people want 100 people in their gym. Me, you give me a good 6, even 10. I'm good with that.
Really?
I don't want 1,000 people in my gym because, you know, I'll be honest with you. I have my ways about me.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to move how I move, if you're not going to push yourself, if you're not going to give me all you got, there's no need for you to be in front. Go to some gym where they're going to take your money and, you know, water the sport of boxing down. This ain't the gym for you, and I'm not the coach for you.
Yeah.
You got to find somebody that's going to fit you. You know what I'm saying?
You got any names you want to drop? Any up-and-comers? Anyone special you got?
You know what? I do have one in mind, but I'm a fair person.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say the one because I don't want to insult the fight because all my fighters are good. You know what I'm saying? They all got their styles about them.
Absolutely.
You know, you got one that's really showing out, though. Like, he comes every day. The kid just did 8 rounds.
Really?
And he sparred a kid that got 11 fights. This kid has no fights.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, I'm a fair person. I think all my fighters bring something different to the table, and I'm proud of all of them because if you watch them on Instagram, see them working out with 20-pound weighted vests, doing punch-outs where you're moving for 30 seconds and then running outside and then coming back on here, jumping on the ring, you be like, I don't know how these guys are doing it right now, but they're doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm proud of all of them. You know what I mean?
So one of your everyday coaching, training, is it different? Like, so every day, is it different on what you do towards the fighter, or is everybody, for the most part, training the same?
Everybody's training the same. My thing is, you got to be in crazy, ridiculously shape. You got to be on a different level of that's the whole thing about this. Having basic skill. 1, 2, double the 1. Just staying real basic, but being in crazy shape, bro.
So what's one of your sessions look like? Like, take us through like one of your
Okay,
sessions. Like,
so
what would you be working on?
I call it pyramid drills, where you're going to go, maybe you might be jumping at first, right? Then you might be doing a drill where you're slamming something as hard as you can. Then you might be doing something where I got you, like I hold the pad against the wall, and you got to keep it up there. So you got to move your hands as fast as you can. And then we get into the boxing part of it. I want you to be really tired for the boxing part because I want to treat it like it's the 4th round. I want to see how you're going to push yourself. You know what I mean? So that's how I move. Like, I don't believe in the everyday training that boxers and coaches do because I was in a mixed martial arts gym for a couple years. And I see why they're in great shape. You know what I mean? They might be slamming 1 minute, kicking, jumping. They all over the place, bro.
Yeah.
And their cardio's on a different level. So being in that gym kind of gave me a different look on how to do my training. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
the routine training for most boxing coaches, they fighter come in, they jump rope. You know, they shadow box. They hit the bag, they hit pads, and they do their strength training. I don't believe in doing that anymore. And I haven't in a long time. Sometimes you got to switch things up to make things better.
Yeah. Wow.
I know you felt that.
Yeah. No, yeah.
You felt it like cake. I seen it.
Yo, we used to talk like this every night after work for like an hour and a half. Yeah.
Yo, this is Noodle right here. I gave him the name as soon as I said, I'm like, Noodle. It's like, bro, that's not my name. It's like, nah, you Noodle. Don't worry about it. You'll get used to it.
I just had to roll with it.
Yeah.
Just had to roll with it.
Yo. So after that, you know, we became tight. But, yo, your name is Noodle. What do you mean? Noodle? No, bro. My name is Mike. No, it's Noodle. Say it just like that. Noodle. Yo.
So, yo, I want to talk to you a little bit about retirement.
All right.
Was it hard for you going from this guy right here, right, with all these accolades, to just not fighting anymore? Not having that thrill, not having that activity anymore?
Like I said, bro, once you start seeing, and I'll be honest with you, it kind of started in the amateurs on the USA team, like seeing what those guys.
When you started feeling it, seeing it?
These guys would have to go to LA and sit in a meeting for hours on what they can do, what they can't do, and come back and let me know about it. Like, yo, bro, we was just sitting there.
As far as what, like outside of the ring?
Yeah.
Stuff you couldn't get? Oh,
yo, bro,
yeah,
you don't understand. It's so.
Nah.
When you get to that type of level, just becoming number one and getting ready to fight in the Olympics, there's certain things they might not want you to sponsor.
But
They don't even want to see you
to.
with it.
Yeah.
Like they might say, let's say for instance, I'm just making something up. Yo, you can't represent Powerade. We don't want to see you with a Powerade bottle. Now, if you get caught with that, somebody takes a picture of you with that. Now it's like they're ready to kick you off the team because you broke a rule.
Just as simple as drinking
Bro,
a Powerade.
if you dude, this happened to one of the fighters. I won't say his name. He took a certain corpse syrup medicine that has something in it that showed that he came up positive for something. Where he had to get a lawyer to fight it just to stay number one. Yes, it was something in the cough medicine that was banned for the drug test.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he spends thousands of dollars
Yeah,
to
get a lawyer.
defend course.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So you know, it's like, yo, it's it's a lot, man. It's
So some of those dudes at the top, they really just bent over for the system.
look. Do you know? Listen, there's a drink right now that I see fighters putting in the air. Do you know how nasty that stuff tastes to me,
Bro,
I had it one time. I was like, I would never drink this again.
I feel like I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I was like, I'd rather drink
I'm
dog
thinking-
piss.
I'm
before I
thinking
drink
Prime.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa,
Prime.
pause. Pause. I didn't say no names.
I ain't saying no names.
I'm not saying no names. I'm like, I would, but you know how much
That's big in
boxes-
MMA. That's a big UFC
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
They
You know-
sponsored it.
You know how, like, what is the I forgot the guy. They call him the brother that puts down the monster every time he sits next to it.
Oh,
They call him the airbender.
Israel Adesanya.
Yes.
Oh.
Every
yeah,
time he
yeah,
gets
yeah,
next, he literally puts it down because he
Throws
doesn't
it in the
wanna
ring,
represent
throws
that.
it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the thing is, that might not be representing him by putting money in his pocket.
Yeah.
Like with MMA, it's even worse because you're forced to just rock things that they want you to rock. They throw you a hat, you got to put it on.
Yeah.
But he not even getting paid for wearing that hat.
Yeah.
It's different
Yeah.
with boxing. You see a boxer showing something, rocking something, he's getting paid for it. You know what I mean? I really think MMA really gets jerked around a lot. I'll be
Oh, for
honest
sure.
with you.
For sure.
For a sport that's so violent, don't get me wrong. I mean, you're using your whole body as a weapon.
Yeah.
I feel like they get jerked around a lot, bro. And they're not making half of the much money that they should be making.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I saw something on Twitter. I don't know how real it is or what, but they were saying this dude made $12,000 and he's in the UFC. So you got to think taxes. You pay your coach. What do you really walk?
Nutritionists,
What do you really walk at?
the gym you
6,500.
worked out,
Yeah.
you know, the place you might have been staying at.
6,500.
You know what I'm saying? Now you got to get home. You got bills to pay there. You got your car insurance.
Yeah.
You know, your wife might want to go on vacation. You got to buy your kids new wardrobe because you know they think daddy's rich now. You know, Daddy, you can afford it. Don't worry. You can, come with it. Come on, Dad. The new Jordans just came out. What's going on?
Yeah, with that, it's like you get to the pros, you get to the big league, and then it really starts.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know
You know what I mean, so it's like, I'll be honest with you, coaches get paid, a decent amount. You know what I mean? Because they ain't got to go through the bull stuff. They ain't got to take orders from somebody telling them to do something. They just doing their job. They just getting the fighter ready.
Yeah.
You know, and they get paid whatever the fighter agrees on, and they take it from there.
Yeah, so that was my next question. I didn't know if it was like a New York State rule or is it fighter coach? You guys work out how much
Yeah, it's
Off the top.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
so it'd be like
you know what I
5%,
mean?
10%, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's you kind of work it out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you gotta understand, at the beginning of a fighter's career, he doesn't make that much. No. You know what I mean? For a regular 4-rounder, it's $400.
Yeah.
Even if you got a name, like you start off very slow. A guy that has a name might not even make nothing at all. He's just happy just to have somebody in front of him because everybody knows who he is coming out of the amateurs.
Yeah.
So nobody want no static with him.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
So what would be your advice to that guy who's top of the top, not making any money? What would be your advice to him if he wanted to stick in the game and make as much money as he can?
Stay focused, stay humble, keep your name out there, and get sponsorships. Reach out to everybody that you know that has a business. Yo, listen, I need 500 here. I'll put your logo here. You know, I represent your company. That's all it is. They want you to rep it. When you walk out there, look at how most of these fighters are wearing different logos and cleaning companies and
I don't know who it
car
was.
services. You know what I mean?
I don't know if it was Boots. I don't know who it was, but he was fucking OnlyFans on his trunks.
Bro,
I
and
mean, yeah.
he's getting paid for that. He's getting paid for
I mean, like anything really nowadays.
After I forgot what fight it was. I knocked a guy out in the pros, and it was a pro fight. And after they came to me, they wanted me to represent a liquor company. It was totally against what I believe because I was still coaching kids at this time. So I'm like, yo, bro, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, we'll pay you this much. I still can't do it. You know what I mean? You know, I still have to be me at the end of the day. I can't let nobody
I
grab
love
my
that,
soul
bro.
for
Absolutely.
a couple dollars. You know what I mean? I don't believe in that stuff, and I wouldn't ask. That stuff is just, it leads down a bad road from what I've seen and growing up. You know what I mean?
And you've been that guy since the day I met you.
Yeah, no doubt, baby.
100%.
If there's one thing, you can only pick one thing that you miss the most about fighting, what would it be?
Going across seas.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Going to them different countries. Oh, my God. When I was in Rio in Brazil, oh my God.
You don't even have to say it.
It was, I feel like crying right now. There's a shorty in front of me. I'm like, oh my God, hola. She was just smiling. I was open. I'm like,
You guys get a lot of time to hang out.
Oh
between what
my
you're doing?
God, yes we did. Yes we did. But Brazil, oh. I've been in some beautiful countries and I met a lot of beautiful people, man. Like different countries, people are a lot more friendlier. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're just happy to see you there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not talking about every country, but every country I've been to so far that I went to, it was good money. You know what I mean? Oh, miss you, baby. Yo.
So let's tackle present day. So present day, training, security. You've been for security for a while now.
Yeah, I've been
right?
doing, and like I said, anything I do, I go 100%. I had to learn how to move with that. You know, you got to learn how to talk to people. See me, the moment you look at me, most people take me as a threat. But I'm not a threat unless you're a threat. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very laid-back, cool person. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, everybody that meets me when it comes to security work, first thing you want to do is poke out their chest. Yeah, bro, I'm harder than you. All right, that's cool, bro. Like, you know, I just got to remove you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know? Most people I end up removing or we end up removing.
Yo,
just come back tomorrow. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing, bro. I've never seen a kid try any other guard besides him.
Right.
Of all, and it's like, why would you even?
Yeah.
It's crazy to me, bro.
That's actually, that
It's crazy.
makes sense.
Yeah, and then when they get hit with something they don't see coming, the first thing they want to do is, hit me.
Write a Yelp
Come
review
on.
or whatever the hell they
Yeah, they
do.
want to get on
Yelp. Yeah. The big guy outside.
No, come on.
Yeah.
Like it is. The big black guy. And it's like you can read through the text.
Bro.
It's like, yo, bro, listen, I didn't start it. Yo, I was as friendly as I could be. You know what I'm saying? You made it like I was the enemy. You know? So it is what it is, man. You just learn how to take things in stride.
Yeah.
You know, one thing about this sport, it really teaches you how to move with life. You know what I mean? It really teaches you how to see things coming before they come and how to master on getting underneath it or around it. You know what I mean? So it's done a lot for me.
It's awesome, bro.
You want to add, Mike? Is there anything else you want to touch up on? Anything you want to shout out there?
Yeah. Like I said, come see me at Vest Memorial if you're looking to train. You know what I mean? You can check me out. Adam Showtime Willett on Instagram, Adam Showtime Willett on Facebook. I'm going to leave my number. I'm not hard to find, man. If you really want to fight, you doing mixed martial arts, you want to get your hands together, come see me. It's real in my battlefield.
And
Right?
can they direct message you through Instagram?
Yes.
Is that cool?
Yes, and Facebook.
All right, we'll make
saying.
sure
we'll
we'll
plug that
have
in
all
the-
the social media,
description.
we'll have the
Yeah.
number, everything we got. We'll have all that in the description.
And one more thing I want to leave off with. Anything you do in life, you just got to stay focused. You have to have tunnel vision. You know what I mean? You can't let friends, family, nothing. You know, I think this podcast right here, just from this interview, y'all about to blow like nitro. I'm telling you.
I
that.
appreciate
You know what I'm saying?
that. I appreciate that.
When you start getting a lot of love, you know, just holler back at me.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
But,
I'm like I said, once we start blowing up, first thing I'm gonna have is that signed glove. That's the first thing I'm gonna
I
have.
can't believe I'm signing the glove like I'm back in the amateurs.
That's it, bro.
Hey, man.
Nah, yo, we appreciate you, man.
Nah,
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I
this was definitely
appreciate
a
you
good day
taking
for you.
time out of your day and doing this. I really do.
Nah, that's all love, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Y'all guys have a good day, man.
Adam Showtime Willett.